All right. On this beautiful day, I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. Namely, the long overdue concept of magic in Valheim. Now, we already have magic in Valheim, namely, the enemies have it. And you might be wondering, can we have it ourselves? And the answer is probably not. Although the groundwork is there. Kind of. Right? So we have an interesting sort of lore backing with magic. So if we look at, say, the various casters throughout the game, we have a seemingly three options. So we have the Grey Dwarf Shamans, the Cultists, and the Fulling Shamans. And from them, you can see that we have three sources of magic. However, they come in a variety of balances. So, the Grey Dwarf magic, the Grey Dwarf healing is very good, even though it's just 20 seconds over, or 20 healing over 4 seconds. That's still pretty useful. It can be around Bronze Age, certainly. And let's also talk about that beautiful poison, which is really just okay and really falls off hard. So that's just not good at all, right? So, we have some alright options there. Just already. But we gotta really look at the gotta look at that Fulling Shaman options, because this is when things get really crazy. So, Fulling Shamans, of course, have two skills, or two spells. The Fireball and their Shield. Both of these are kind of crazy. The Shield even more so than the Fireball. So the Shield blocks 100 damage. And you can stack it on a variety of enemies nearby. Or friends, not enemies. But yeah, it's nuts. Absolutely crazy to be able to protect that much damage. Especially when our health so far is only going up to like maximum a couple hundred, like 200 something if we eat all health food, which we wouldn't anyway. So yeah, that's just absolutely insane, kinda OP, especially considering it could very well stack with bone mass, and then everybody's hyper tanky. Maybe not the best idea. The Fireball, still very powerful. It's 100 fire damage, 20 blunt. Very strong still. That's 120 output. Very strong. Very strong. I mean, think of sending that off via range. Like, it won't be as good as, say, like, hyper shot, high level bows with frost arrows. No, it's not going to be anywhere near close to that. But just to start off a battle, like, let's say like they're on some sort of cooldown, maybe they're 5 minutes, just like the boss abilities. You got like 5 minutes, alright? Starting off some sort of big encounter with 120 for like ranged for free. Just basically imagine that, like, you shoot the fireball and then you have high bow skills, so you launch an arrow and the arrow hits the target and then the fireball hits, and it's just crazy damage. It's crazy damage stacked up on top of each other, which gets even crazier in multiplayer. It's kind of nuts, right? So, the final thing is the Fenris. And this is just kind of very balanced, because that's a 50 fire damage, fire spray, or whatever it does. Not too impressive at all, right? Very, very balanced and underwhelming. Like, underbalanced. Not good. Especially considering just how much damage we can be doing at that point. Ooh, hello, blobs. It's kind of unnecessary. So, I think we might not want spells, because they would either be good for a biome or two, underwhelming, and then extremely powerful. And the balance would be all over the place, and it would be absurd. One restriction on one, like the 5 minutes, would be obscene for another. It would be really, really tough to implement and balance out. However, I think what a cool concept could be would be implementing magic weapons. Yes, magic weapons would be very cool. So, with the same concepts in mind, so same sort of abilities, we can make into magical weapons to sort of fill in the gaps of the weapons that we don't have for certain tiers. So an idea I had was a sledge for the Black Forest tier. And that would be some sort of healing or poison ability on a sledge. Now, sledge with the big knockback and the AoE, specifically because the knockback is so nice, you are able to keep enemies away and keep them away for a decent amount of time, which lets the DOT like poison or fire really shine. And I think a poison or a fire sledge would be really good. I also think a cold sledge would be good, say in the deep north. I think that would be sick, just because you could be able to bonk enemies into water, and then now they're wet, and then you keep bonking them, and it's just brutal. It is just vicious. But that could be a little too strong, depending on the enemies. Presumably, deep north enemies would be resistant to that sort of thing. Now, what specifically for this Black Forest sledge? Okay. I think it could have poison DOT. It would probably have the same, or same total damage as the bronze mace, just like how the iron sledge has the same damage as the iron mace. And it would have that poison DOT, but it would also have an effect to where if you used the Elder Power, if that was activated, then it would gain a little healing. So you would be able to sort of heal anybody in the vicinity, like any of your friends or allies, say tamed animals that you're escorting or something. You would be able to heal them for as much damage as you're dealing with the poison on an enemy. Sort of like a lifesteal effect, a vampiric ability. I think that would be cool. I think that would be useful even later in the game, just to provide a little support and healing for your friends and allies. I think that would be very cool. But how would you get it, right? So, how would you get this weapon, or any sort of magic weapon? Well, I would think that you would get it after you kill the boss for that tier. You would be able to unlock a special area that would generate somewhere in that biome, let's say Black Forest for now, one of them that you have already explored. And I want to make it something that you've already explored, because, you know, Black Forest can be beyond plains, and I don't want you to have to explore beyond plains as if it was the merchant and you got bad seed RNG. I don't think that's the best for design purposes, balance purposes. So, how would you know where to find that special area? Okay, well, you just go to any old Vegapasir, and it would tell you. It would tell you where it is. So you'd go to a Black Forest Vegapasir, and it would tell you where the special area is. And then you'd have to fight some tough enemies, like, let's say, 2 trolls and 2 1-star Grid of Shamans at the same time. It's like, oh god, this is brutal, right? But it's worth it. We have a really cool magic weapon, or rather, unique magic weapon materials that you would need to craft the magic weapon, waiting for you. And these, of course, would multiply based off of the number of players that were active at the time, yada yada. Same thing for boss items. And then you would be able to unlock the crafting recipe for this item. I think that would be pretty cool. I also have an idea for the Meadows one. I think that there could be a cool, not necessarily unique weapon, although it would be cool to get like an early game lightning at gear. However, I would rather have a cute little fishing pole. So it would be a lightning fishing pole, and if you had Eikthyr activated while you were fishing, it would do a little lightning damage. It would do like 20 lightning damage into water. And that would be enough to kill some fish. But it would destroy it would destroy part of the fish. It would deal like 1 section of damage from the fish. So if it was a basic fish, it would be completely destroyed because you only get 1 fillet from that. If it was a little better fish, you would get 1 fillet from it instead of 2. 2 instead of 3, 3 instead of 4. You would have to basically give good observation and know when to use it if there are really good fish around, and you just want to go ham and just get a bunch of fish just right away. I think it would be cool if it got cooked too. I think that would be a nice touch. For the swamp tier, I really don't know. I don't know what they would be a special thing of, or magic-wise. No idea. No idea. Let me know what you think. I don't know. I have no concept, no idea. However, for the mountains, I think there should be a special at gear. Yeah, I think there should be a special at gear that would be like crystal or silver, probably both, with a little bit of red jute around the tassel. I think it would be nice as a little what is it? Little Fenris nod, a nod to Fenris. You'd probably be fighting a variety of cultists, the Ulbs, just like a big, huge group of them. And once you do that, you'd be able to get the special like Fenris blessing or whatever into that specific section of red jute. And then you would be able to craft that special at gear, which I think a cool idea would be if you take any fire damage, then it activates the weapon and it gives you a buff over time. So for about like 20 or 30 seconds, you would get a boost to your attack. You would be like enraged with the fire. The crystal blade of the at gear would glow red, and so would your eyes, and you would have a little buff. And it would be really cool to interact with the Fulling Village like that. It would be really good paired with Fire Res Wine, or of course Fenris Armor. I think that would look sick. I think it's a good trade-off for having to take damage. I think it would be cool because there's all those fires in the Fulling camps. And it would be cool to reactivate that buff just by stepping into the fire, or a bonfire. That would be very nice. The final idea I had would be a Plains Tier Spear from Yagluth. And this would involve like a meteorite shard. Like, okay, one of Yag's stray meteors landed in this part of the plains. You gotta go find it. You go, and then there's like four Fulling Shamans and a 1-star Berserker waiting for you. Like, oh god, what a nightmare encounter, right? And you get the reward, and then you get to make, of course, your Plains Tier Spear. And this thing would have like a little bit extra of fire damage, especially so on a throw. They would look like a comet sailing through the air with that like pink and blue effects, like Yaggle's fire when he slams his hand down. It would have like a meteor trail. I think that would look very cool. It would look very, very, very cool. I think that would be cool as well. I also like the idea of it having on a 5-minute cooldown this shield ability. Not that you can put on yourself, but a sort of like half dome that you can place as if it was a temporary build piece out in the world. You just put it down, like your Fortnite building, but not as crazy, right? And it would have 100 health, and you would be able to, if you used Spear Toss, pin an enemy to that area. And the enemy would be pinned, and then you could do a whole bunch of other stuff. They could take additional damage. Maybe enemies could take damage when or if the shield is broken. Like the shards of the shield could deal a little slashing or piercing damage. I don't know. Of course, this shield build piece's half dome would have a limited amount of time. So let's say like a minute or so. Or yeah, that would be more than enough. And then other than that, I think it would be cool. I think it would be a nice idea so that you can throw the spear more reliably to make sure that it doesn't go flying if you missed. It's like, oh, it just hits the shield, and then you can recover it easily. I think it would also be nice to just like drop the half dome in an enemy's way, and then once they break through the shield, like throw the spear, and it's like, aha, surprise spear in your face. Like, that would be cool as well. Let me know what you think about all these ideas. These are my ideas. I still don't know what I would really want for the Swamp Age. I have no idea. But I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys some other time. Bye.